Wow. You guys are having a party.
Hey,
Can you hear me?
how are you?
I'm good. Sorry, how are you?
We're good.
I can hear you.
For jumping like in a short time.
Hi, Jamie. Thank you so much for joining our Diamond Retreat weekend here. It was last minute. We really appreciate you being here. We're always looking for great inspiration, and I know that your business is going well, so I'm just going to give the call to you.
Awesome. So where are you guys?
Bolton West. You know, it's like 1 hour and a half
In
from Montreal.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we
Just
rented
counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So
14.
you have 10 of you?
14.
14. Awesome. And it's a diamond retreat?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, I still haven't had a retreat yet, so we're trying to organize one, but I don't even know where to start, to be honest with you. So yeah, too much on the go.
No kidding.
Thanks for having me. I want to make it more like a Q&A. I find a lot of times Q&A sometimes it's about, especially when you're dealing with diamond coaches, and you guys know how the business works. Like, I don't want to sit here and talk about, the daily vital behaviors to you guys that you hear about, 50 times a day of what to do. So I prefer you guys ask some questions, and maybe some deeper level questions, and let's maybe talk about some things that you guys maybe are struggling with or not struggling with, or, it's wide open. So maybe I'll tell you quickly my story. So I'm originally from British Columbia. I taught high school for about 7 years. I'm probably much older than any of you, but I taught for 7 years high school. I think I started in 95. And I started teaching high school when I was about 24. So it was kind of crazy. I actually remember, I remember doing my teacher practicum. I think I was 22, because in BC, I graduated when I was 17. So I went to college right away. I couldn't even drink at college my first couple of years. And then I remember my first teaching practicum. I had students coming up being like, "Hey, do you know so-and-so?" And it was like guys like a year younger than me. These students be like, "Yeah, that's my boyfriend." I'm like, "Oh my God, what am I doing?" So anyway, so I started really young teaching, and I've had a few different careers. And in my 7th year of teaching, I actually did my master's in leadership, ironically enough. I was going to get into a vice principal, get into administration. And I quit teaching about a month after I finished my master's for whatever reason. I had a business opportunity out in Ontario with my father and my brother Mike, who does the coaching now too. And so we literally just picked up from British Columbia, moved out to Ontario, and we started a chain of stores, retail stores. And we ended up franchising the concept, and we got it up to about 23 retail stores. And then, the classic story of brought in a really bad business partner, just started going downhill. And I'm just not the type to sit around and not be happy. And that's where I gained about 60 pounds. So I'm about 195 now. That's a good, comfortable weight for me. But I got up to about 240. Just, I'm a stress eater, self-medicator, food, alcohol, and I just was miserable because of the stress in my company. So I basically sold my shares in the company. I lost a lot of money from what we built that business up for about 9 years. So I learned a lot, and I guess I was sitting home one day, 60 pounds overweight, probably drinking beer, eating pizza, whatever you do when you're, miserable and depressed. And that was 2008, I think, 2009. And I saw a P90X infomercial on TV. So I picked up the phone for whatever reason. We just had a new baby, my son, Colby. He's almost 8 now. And it's like, what it's like when you deal with challengers, right? It's and especially with guys, because guys are, let's be honest, guys are pretty stubborn. So it took me a long time. My wife, she didn't nag me, but obviously she was worried about me because I was a new dad and gaining all that weight. And you guys know what it's like dealing with challengers who just make up excuses. And sometimes they're not ready until you're ready, right? So for whatever reason, something about Tony Horton struck me in the infomercial, and I ordered it, and that started me on, and that was the first thing that introduced me to Beachbody. I lost 60 pounds. I got down to about I think the lightest I was about 178, and then I put on about 15 pounds of muscle through P90X and stuff. And then it wasn't until about, I guess it was February 2015, last year. And I'd known about the coaching opportunity, and I knew it was kind of out there. And my wife, Kim, she had been using the Shakeology for a couple of years. I had been using it. I was one of those husbands who, like, when my wife was ordering it, I was one of those husbands who's like, what is this stuff and why is it so expensive? And she would literally, like, kind of tell me white lies and say, oh no, I canceled it for next month. I canceled it for now. And it would keep, this green box would keep showing up and be like, what are you doing? I was that guy. I was that husband who thought it was too expensive. And then I started using it and liking it. And then, my sister-in-law is, she works Stella and Dot, network marketing, the jewelry. You have that in Quebec, right? Stella and Dot?
Yeah.
And she's really high up. So she just kept pestering me. She's like, you got to coach. You'll love it. You got to coach. And so I signed up. I think I sold my first challenge pack March 2015, early March 2015. And that's, the rest is kind of history. It's been a whirlwind. Yeah, it's been, I basically made a commitment to, like, I'm OCD and ADD. Like, I'm legit. Like, and I knew that once I was going to do coaching, I knew if I was going to jump into it, I knew I was, like, all in. So that's what took me a little while to commit to it. Cause I was like, I'm the personality type. If I'm going to do something, I'm all in, or I won't do it at all. And so I think I signed up early February, and then I knew I was going on vacation at the end of February. So then I was like, okay, I'll wait till after the vacation. And then, I think it was March 6th, I sold my first challenge pack, and I have barely watched TV since. I stopped doing things like playing poker online. I stopped playing fantasy sports. I stopped playing baseball, which I loved. I stopped playing hockey, which I really loved. I'm a guy's guy. I'm a jock. I'm a regular dude, but I knew that if I was going to try and turn this into something special, which I thought I could, I had good role models, like Miguel Carrasco is my upline, and he works really hard. And that was one of my first mentors. And then one of the first videos I ever watched was Scotty Hobbs' video, the one where he's sitting at his cabin. He talks about all the sacrifices he had to make. And so having Miguel as an example of seeing how hard he worked, and then that Scotty Hobbs video, I just was like, I was willing to commit to that. And I think a lot of people say they're willing to do it, and doing it and actually getting to that level of, like, you really do sacrifice a lot of things. We don't sacrifice our time with our kids. We have 2 young kids. We don't sacrifice that. They're heavily involved in activities. I'm not talking about that sacrifice. I'm talking about, like, stuff that brings me sort of that artificial pleasure, like watching TV, the mind-numbing watching TV, or doing all that other stuff. I was just willing to put that all on hold and go at this 110%. And you can't compare yourself to people in this business. Like, a lot of people ask me, how did you get such a fast start? Like, what did you do? Like, tell me what you did step by step. And I'm like, it doesn't work that way, because we all come into this business with different networks. We've all done different things. Like, I'm a lot older than a lot. I turned 44 this year, and I've been a high school teacher for 7 years. I ran a company for 9 years. So my network starting out was probably a lot bigger than a lot of people's. And I tell people that, like, you can't compare yourself. It's going to take people a lot longer or shorter than me. It just depends where you come into this. And I think that's important to tell your coaches that too, as you guys start to build these big teams and stuff, is comparison is really the thief of joy, right? You just can't compare yourself, because everyone's at a different level. But, everyone can work as hard as everyone else in this business. And that's the equalizer, is that if you think someone comes from a bigger town or has a bigger network, then work harder. That's really what this boils down to. There's no magic. There's no secret. It's just, you got to put in the time and commit to it, and be comfortable with your progress based on how hard you're working. So that's kind of my story. Let's open it up. I'd love to get questions, guys. Ask anything.
And now you're a 6-star diamond. That's right?
I'm 7-star. I'm 8 qualifying. I just had a diamond last week.
Wow.
Well, that's good.
That's good. Congrats.
Yeah. Thank you.
In Quebec, we have difficulties to sign up men. What would you say to us? How do you say? Ouais, pour aller les chercher.
So I'm going to come into the camera here.
Traduction girl.
So the question would be, how would you attract men to sign up to some of your challenges? I guess it's easier since you are one, but is there something that you say it comes naturally because you are a guy and you're able to
So what? Just best practice to recruiting.
Yeah.
Nice to know like what.
Okay, so the question then would be, what is your best practice for recruiting? So you're really, big on social media. What would be your next step to attract those people to become coaches? Because like you said, there's a lot of sacrifices that need to be done. And a lot of people, when they see that, they're not ready to do those sacrifices, right? They just want to do a challenge and then that's it. But how do you get people to move forward afterwards?
Well, let's talk men and women. We'll talk differently. So, and you might have to cut me off. I'm a bit of a rambler, but let's talk men first. So even for like, we're doing a men's core de force group that starts actually Monday, and I had a really shitty, shitty outcome with how many guys I had. Like they're just not, and I thought like core de force, I had more guys sign up for, the hardcore. I had more guys sign up for hardcore, which is, I guess, kind of it could be considered a masculine workout. But I thought core de force, punching, kicking, I thought I'd get more dudes to sign on because it's a little bit more aggressive than other workouts, but I don't think it's about attracting men or women. And I'm talking in terms of challengers and coaches, like, because I had a girl message me yesterday and ask me the same question. She's like, what do you do to attract guys, or what do you do to attract people? It's like, I don't think you can force that. I think, and obviously because I'm a dude, I get a lot of guy coaches reach out to me and that are struggling in the business. And they're like, I think they solely focus on guys and I think you have to have a niche market. Like, I think we're all a little bit different. We all have different interests. So you're going to attract people that are kind of similar personalities and interests. But I don't think you can pigeonhole yourself. And I find a lot of guys, they're scared to recruit women and I tell them, like, we're all just because you're a guy or a girl, we all have different personalities and different, like, when you meet someone and you really connect with them, guy and girl, it doesn't really matter. And that's sort of how I approach it. It's because what happens is, because Kim's actively working the business, my wife, and she moves up and she's going for elite this year and 5-star. And so we'll have people come to us as a couple and be like, hey, I want to sign up as a coach. And Kim and I, we look at each other like, okay, who's taking this one? Like, but we don't think guy, girl. We think, okay, personality. Who do you think is more going to fall in line? And people on our team get a 2-for-1 deal anyway. Like, they actually get Kim and I both as coaches, so they can come to us with different issues. I maybe not be good with some of the emotional stuff, whereas I'm better in the back office or the business side. Long story short, I think whatever you post on social media, whatever you're putting out there into the universe, whatever you're doing, you're going to attract the people you're supposed to attract if you're doing that properly. The right people are going to come on your team, and the right people are going to come in your life. You can't start specifically changing a post or going live and talking about, hey, you check out that, the Canadians game last night, because you're trying to attract coaches. I mean, that's not natural anyway. Like you have to be authentically you. And that's the whole thing about going live on Facebook now, is Kim and I have really noticed an uptick in our business since we started going live. We try to do it every morning with our workout, both of us. And we call it like meals, movement, and mindset episode, 24. And we just, every morning we wake up, we're like, what number are we on? It's like, I don't know, go 28. So we put that down, and then we just go live with our workout, and we'll do like 5 minutes and then stop and just talk to the audience for a little bit, and then finish the workout with a couple of moves. But I think going live is like, I said this in the last talk I did, is going live is really, it's like authenticity maxified, right? It's like authenticity on steroids, because everyone gets to know who you are. And you're going to make mistakes live. You're going to say stupid shit. Like, your kids are going to come screaming in the background. But that's what makes you real and relatable. And that's what people are looking for. You know, they're not looking for us to be perfect. They're looking for something about us. They're like, holy crap. Yeah. His kids are poorly behaved too sometimes. They're like, wow. Like, that is the whole key to this business. So I don't think you should try to attract women. I don't think you should try to attract men. I think you need to really be you. And if that authenticity comes through that's why a lot of successful coaches, you know, all they post is like selfie shots with a message, because they're building their brand of who they are, you know? And I think as long as you can grasp the concept of being comfortable with you and your flaws, and that's not always easy, but like, if you can grab hold of that and just be comfortable with being imperfect, like we all are, you know, we're all a little dysfunctional. We're all a little effed up. Sorry for the language, but we're all a little messed up, like, you know? So as long as you're comfortable with showing that authenticity on Facebook, I think you're going to attract the right people, men, women, doesn't matter. That's my big advice. I don't think now, as far as like sheer recruiting tips, I think going live is huge. I think it's going to change the game for people. I think the coaches who are comfortable going live, and it takes a while, I think those are the coaches who into next year are going to really build up a social media following. And then if places like the UK and Australia open, that's where those people are going to learn who you are. That's who they're going to learn, is that live Facebook stuff, because they're getting full you. From day one, as far as strictly recruiting, from day one, we've made sure to run our challenge groups. Yeah, we want people to get results, of course. Yeah, it's as much about losing weight as it is about mindset and them coming out with a healthier opinion of themselves. But we've always ran our challenge groups to attract coaches. And everything we post in our challenge groups, we have the thought in the back of our head, how will the post of today, how is that going to train or get them to think about the coaching opportunity for themselves? So like 6 days in, when you open a challenge group, right away you can kind of feel who are the people who are enjoying the process, who are posting a lot. And I'll send them a message on day 5, 6, 7 and just say, hey, love your engagement. You're doing awesome. I really appreciate you posting so much. You're really getting the group going. And that, I mean it. Like, that's an authentic conversation, because you need those people in your group. So no one's, you get those groups where no one says a thing, right? So about day 5 or 6, reach out to them, thank them for the engagement, the encouragement. And then, day 14, say, hey, are you loving the shakes? How's everything going? Maybe put out the discount option there. Do you want to save on the Shakeology? I still don't really bring up the coaching, because those people who really have that mindset, they're thinking about it anyway. They see what you're doing. They're thinking, oh, that may be kind of cool to do. They're thinking about it anyway. So I don't really bring it up until maybe the very end. But I've touched base with them definitely 1, 2, 3, 4 times, told them how thankful you are, maybe talk about the discount coaching. And then towards the end, if I think it's something they'd be good at, I just come out and say, do you think, have you ever thought about coaching? And my biggest leadership tip and I say this all the time, is the number one thing you can do for any challenger or any coach of yours, the number one thing you can do, and you can express it in several ways, is you just have to believe in them. Like, you just have to believe in people. And if you just sprinkle belief into them through messages, send them. Amazon's a great way to send people personal development books. You can send like You Are a Badass, that book. You can send it and gift wrap it with a note to your coach for like $12, $14. Like, to me, that's the best investment you can ever make for someone, because you're actually giving them a tool they can use. Obviously, Amazon has all different books, PD books, but if you can believe in people and believe in your coaches, that just because sometimes they don't believe in themselves, and coaches get those blocks up. You get to diamond, but you can't get past diamond, or you get to 2-star, or you get to emerald, and you have coaches that just, those are all, for the most part, those are all self-imposed blocks. They're self-imposed. So sometimes it just takes you as the leader, the upline, whatever you want to call it. You just got to believe in people. And it's crazy once you start believing them, and them consciously knowing that you believe that they can do it, you can just see them start to like soar. That was a very long-winded answer to the original question. But I told you I ramble.
Sir, thank you.
Okay. Is there anyone else? Isabel?
Do you have some tips or methods that you use to train them to get a higher level, or like have the best to keep the engagement and just des trucs pour partager, comme you're a teacher in the past, so do you have like good tips that you can tell us about how to teach, to reproduce what you do, actually, to stay committed and engaged and get this at a higher level?
Is there like a structure that you use? There, like apart from coach basics and things like that, is there something else that you do that would help motivate a coach, help their coach to move forward and have that ball rolling? It's like you said, some people just stay at the same level all the time. So what do you get them going forward?
Well, all I can. Are you guys getting that echo? No, it's just me. Okay, I'll just have to put up with it. I can hear myself talk. So I'll just talk about maybe some of the things that I do and I don't know if other coaches do this or not. I really don't. Maybe some of the unique stuff that we do as a team is we treat it's why I don't really trade calls a lot with coaches, and because we do our calls on Thursday nights, and all of our coaches on our team are similar to Kim and I. A lot are couples, or maybe, late 30s, 40s. They've got kids that are heavily into activities. They're very busy. Not saying you guys aren't, or I don't know the ages of everyone there, or who has kids or who doesn't, but most people are uber busy. So I find our training and our team calls are geared around all of that. Like, I'm really respectful of my coach's time, and so I don't want to occupy all of it with just stuff that I'm passing down to them. I'd rather them use that time to work on their business. So we treat like our Thursday night team call like it's a religion. And that hour, sometimes it goes 90 minutes, sometimes it goes 2 hours, because I treat that every Thursday night like a really hardcore training session. And we pick different topics to talk about. I probably spend about 3 or 4 hours for our team calls preparing slides, content. Like, I really treat it like you're coming to Beachbody University every Thursday, and this is how we're going to do things on Crush It Fitness, and this is how we're going to push it forward. And I'll pick a topic that I think the team needs. And it's not that I don't think other guest coaches have something to offer. Of course I do. And I do trade calls, but there's so much where during the week, I'm like, oh God, I can't wait to talk about this topic. I really feel like the team needs this topic right now. And so I'm very possessive of that time that I have with those coaches. And I don't want to give that time away, because I feel like we can tackle so much. And I think our team and coaches appreciate that. They make sure they're on those calls, because they know, I hope, how valuable that content is. And I'll tell them, I'll post on our team page, hey, just spent 4 hours prepping the slides. I got 22 slides to show you tonight. You better show up. And I'll play that little bit of that guilt card to be like, get on this. I'm putting in the work. I'm prepping for the call. All you have to do is show up and write shit down. So show up. And I'm not the kind of leader who's I'm not an aggressive leader. I'm very, I'm very in touch with people and that stuff. I always say it's your business. If you don't want to show up at the team call, don't show up. It's your business. You do what you want. You're your own CEO. So that's one thing I do is I really try to elevate that team call. And I think it shouldn't matter if you have one business builder or 2 or 6 or 10. I think from day one, you pick a day and you start running your own team calls. Okay, this is maybe a little silly. Maybe it's just yourself. You could actually record your team calls and actually have a bunch of, logged team calls and training that you could do for the future. But I think I started team calls. I remember it was like my brother, Kim, my brother's wife, and maybe one other person at the start. And we just kind of sat and we just had that team call from day one. So that's one thing is like elevate. And I don't know what you guys do for calls, but that's one thing you can do. Culture-wise, I feel like we have a team chat on Messenger. It gets really crazy in there. I warn all my coaches, new coaches, I'm going to put you in the chat, but you might want to turn off notifications. But I find like our team is really good at answering questions for each other. I'm not a big segregator. Like I don't segregate people based on rank or success club. I try to merge everyone into one because everyone's time is so limited. I want us all to learn from each other still. Whether it's a coach on day one or a coach who's been doing it for 18 months, I still want everyone to help each other out. And I really try to build that culture into it. Like I want my leaders to be able to help other people, even if they're not someone's personally sponsored coach. I want them to be able to all help each other. Another thing I do is I put people what I call into pods, and it doesn't matter if they're my PS coach or someone else's. Every month, and I track sponsorship drill down really closely. Like I enjoy going in the back office and seeing what everyone's doing. And I'll take like if we've got on Crush It Fitness, if we've got 25 people who with a week left in the month are all under Success Club 5, I set up a new chat. I put them all in there. I call it Push to Success Club 5 for October. And we work as a group in that chat on what activities we can do to get over that hump. And it's crazy. Like, let's say I've got 20 people that are at SC 0, 2, or 4. I'll bet you I get 10 to 15 of the 20 that hit Success Club 5 after that pod is done at the end of the month. Because all those people can relate to each other. And it's not a punishment. We don't treat it like, oh, you're in the under Success Club 5 chat. Like, that's not what it is. It's like, we're going to get together. We're going to do this as a team, and we're all going to push over that fence together. And what things can we share in the pod, and how can I help? What tools can I provide you to get over that? And it's crazy how people under Success Club 2 and 4 can actually push each other and help each other get over that. So that's one thing I like, and I do that like religiously every month. And I find that really helps. Let's see, higher level stuff. I'm trying to think of like momentum, because I find all coaches can lose it. And I think what you can do to really help people is like set up some, and I'm trust me, I'm the most horribly organized human being you will ever meet. Like I really am. Like it is a huge weakness of mine. I'm not kidding you. I wish I had some around here. I've got, and this is embarrassing to tell you, I've got 3 really nice yearly, the nice yearly planners you can get at Chapters, or like they're $50 or $70 and they've got all the crap in them. I think I've got 3 binders because I've like started over. I'm going to be organized now, and I buy a new one and I start writing in it. It's just not my thing. I'm just poorly organized. And so I think what I'm good at is just like writing a list down of stuff I have to do and just like getting it done, but I'm just not organized. But what I was going to say is I think what you have to do is you have to have a really good pulse on your coaches. And what I mean by that, and this will help them, because you don't want to get to the point with them where they've shut down. You want to get to that point with them where you're noticing that something's changing on their Facebook feed and something's going on in their life. And if you've got a pulse on your coaches and you're watching them closely, and it doesn't mean cruise their news feed every day, because that's a time waster, but I look at my Success Club points in my drill down, and I can see who's like off their normal, and I'll just send them a message. I'll go look at their Facebook feed. And I try to quickly tell, you know, they look like they're teetering on having a bit of a shutdown or a momentum. And I try to get on that right away before that actually happens. Sometimes I miss it. Sometimes they've kind of shut down and not posted on social media for 5 days. But I find if you have a pulse, get in your back office, notice the trends of your Success Club people and what they're doing, notice the trend of how they're posting on Facebook. And if you can meet them just before they kind of feel like quitting or crashing, and, you know, give them some personal development advice, set up a Zoom call, ask them what's going on in their life. Or sometimes I'll just message them and go, hey, you know, Sam, there's something shaking, I can tell. Like, you got everything okay? You know, what's going on at home? You know, I hope my relationship with coaches is close enough that I can do that stuff without them getting offended, which I think it is. But a lot of the times they shut down in the business, not because of something that's going on in the business. It's something outside, right? Like something's going on in their marriage or life, or their boyfriend, girlfriend, kids, family. And I don't even talk about the coaching with them when I get to that point. I don't want them to quit coaching, but I think it's important to find out what's going on in their life and help them with that. And then if you can help them with that part of it, then the next step is like, hey, let's get back with the coaching. This will help you. You know, you've even stopped working out. I think that's all kind of intertwined with life. So I hope that was kind of an answer to your question. Because it's really hard to like give you, well, like, because we all get the same training. That's the crazy part in this business, right? Like, we all kind of get the same training. And even the training I give my team, it's pretty basic, where it's like, it's training designed for you to get to diamond. And then after that, it's like, yeah, it's kind of like you just have to start magnifying the things you did to get to diamond. And what I find, and it happens with my coaches too, is they spend so much time focusing on getting to diamond, which is an awesome goal. It feels great. If you're ever going to do anything in this business, diamond is a step in the ladder, right? That's a step you have to get to. But I think that's when the work starts. Like, getting to diamond's great, but man, now you have to get to work. Like, now you have to start 10xing, as I call it, or magnifying everything you do. And you have to change that mindset of, and we all have been there. It's like, I'm a person who signs up challengers. I'm a person who signs up challengers to, like, I'm a leader. I'm a CEO. I'm going to show people on social media that I can help you set up a business. And can you still hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, you're frozen. It's changing that mindset of, and you have to show this on your Facebook. It's part of the whole posting thing, right? Is show them you're like a CEO, show them you're a business leader, you're a business mentor, show people that you can help them start an at-home online business. And that's the other diamond mind switch, is like, once you're diamond, you're not just someone who helps people lose weight. You're someone who helps people. You're setting up a company for them. And that's a tough entrepreneurial mind shift for people, right? Yeah, I'm done. Sorry.
I want to know, I've been coaching almost 3 years now, and how do you pick your topic for a team call? Because actually, I'm like, I already said everything, and I got YouTube link, so I'm finding myself repeating myself all and every time.
I might get there too, right? Like, no, maybe after 3 years, I'll get there too and feel like, okay, we've covered everything. What do we do now?
That's why
but I think
I'm asking you guys to be on my team call right now because I want to be inspired too.
Yeah, I think, like I said before, I try to figure out, because we have a team chat, and I try to monitor that team chat of what's going on there. And then we have like the pods we set up and stuff like that. I have a diamond chat as well, but I try to get a feel for what people are asking a lot of questions about in the chat. That's really what I base my topic on. And like, we're 21 months into the business, 22 months. And maybe after 3 years, I'll be the same. Like, I'll run out of topics, but I've done team calls. Like, I think we've done 3 separate team calls on genealogy and how your tree works and how cycle bonuses work, because we're always adding new coaches. The team's growing really fast. And I feel like sometimes duplicating that stuff is okay. And so we've definitely like doubled up on stuff and tripled up on stuff. It's just, if I feel like the team needs it, that's what I go with. Like on actually this last Thursday, I kind of felt like honestly the team was getting tired of just listening to me talk on team calls. And it's not a control thing, but I had just done, what did we do? Oh, I talked on Smartass Fitness on Miguel's team call. My wife and I were guests on that, and so my team comes on that, and then I'd done the last 2 calls, and I'm like, okay, they don't want to hear me babble anymore. Like, this is too much Jamie right now. And I also felt like I needed to push some of my diamonds a little bit. And so I literally in the diamond chat was like, and this was on the Tuesday, so I just 2 days in the diamond chat, and I just said, hey, I said, I'm not doing the team call this Thursday. I said, you guys are doing it. Figure it out. To come up with a topic. You can all be involved. A couple of you can be involved. What do you guys want to talk about? Go. And I left it up to them, and they actually came up with they brought in examples of bad Facebook posts when they first started coaching, and then good Facebook posts now, and they put up samples on the screen. It was actually a great call, because for a lot of new coaches, they're like, because you go back and look at your first month of posts when you're a coach, you're probably like, oh my God, like you don't understand, right? And then now to the way you post, it's night and day. So that was a good call. But yeah, that's how I kind of decide. And I would say I would just retouch on topics you've covered in the past. Genealogy is a great one, because I think what people miss about genealogy calls and understanding how cycle bonuses work and how your left and right leg work is that for the most part, I get it, some people get put wherever, but for the most part, you want everyone on the team to kick ass. Like, you want everyone to add coaches. Like, you want rock stars, because you're all benefiting from that. So I find trying to get, and that's a tough one, right? Because like the genealogy is probably the toughest thing to understand in this business. But it's good for culture, because if people can grasp that concept of how you're all going to benefit from everybody else doing really well and building the team, yeah, everyone helps everybody. That's why network marketing is a beautiful thing, right? Yeah, I'm trying to think of other topics that we've covered in the past. Yeah, sometimes I'll get on and just do an hour of motivation, not yell at my team, but if I feel like it's a slow month, like, yeah, I just get into the basics, and like I said, I try to put a lot of time into the slides, and I'll try to find videos that are really beneficial for them to watch. I don't think I answered your question very well, but
Also felt the kind of up and down from your coach, like, oh my God, this is rough this month. Okay, I got to boost them and everything, and the next month it's gonna be awesome, and always like that. So it's normal, guys.
very normal.
Est-ce que quelqu'un a une dernière question? Non, we're good. Peut-être, oui, peut-être.
Peut-être les discount coach, est-ce qu'ils arrivent
Ah.
à devenir coach, de quelle façon qu'ils abordent, parce qu'ils commencent discount.
Okay. Do you have a lot of discount coaches? And if so, do you ever get them to switch over to coaching? And how do you go about switching them from discount to actually coach?
Yeah, my theory on that is from day one, I knew, or I thought my goal was to build a team. I never, because it's funny, we talked about this a couple of team calls, because I had a few coaches being like, why do I want to get to Diamond? I don't make commission. I'm like, I want to make commission off people. And like, why would I keep signing up discount coaches? And like, as far as residual income goes and treating this as like a legit business, yeah, I'll sign up coaches all day long over making commission off Shakeology. That's just my theory. I'm in maybe a different position than some people, or the same position where, Kim and I built the business both with full-time jobs. I still work full-time. So any Beachbody income we're making, we don't need it to live necessarily. So I put a lot of money back into the team, back into the business, back into traveling. Like we put a ton of that Beachbody money back because we can. But what was the question?
How do you switch discount coaches?
Thank you.
Coaches? Yeah.
So I sign up coaches as much as I can. It's a good buffer to hold rank and stuff. And I feel like, yeah, you're maybe losing out on commission, but I feel like the opportunity or chance for them to, I feel like they feel more committed to staying on Shakeology as a coach. I feel like that. And then sometimes what I'll do is I will reach out to them and I'll ask them, I'll be like, hey, I know you're just a discount coach. You don't have any plans of being active, but would you like to come on the team page for a while and just check it out and see? Or like this month, we're doing a complete a coach accountability group for all our coaches in Crush It Fitness doing Core to Force. So we set up our own team page and we're all doing, and I actually invited about like 40 discount coaches and said, hey, we're doing a coach accountability group. Rather than being in the customer group, why don't you come in and you're a coach, why don't you come in that? And so it's all about tweaking their interest, right? Or what I've done a couple months too is I've put a contest in place for discount coaches where I'll take like about 20 of them that I think have maybe potential or want to maybe actively coach, even though they don't know it yet. And I'll do like a little contest where I'll be like, hey, you know, if you sign up 2 or 3 people this month, I'll send you some kind of a gift or something like that. And I'll do some kind of little contest that way with my discos. And I feel like that really helps. But yeah, at the end of the day, same thing. I think it's having a pulse on who your discos are. And I'll probably spend 1 or 2 days a month where I'll go through all my discos and maybe go and look at their news feed and kind of see what they're doing and reach out to them and just kind of hint at them, hey, do you ever think this is something you might want to do? But I don't have any grand secret to it, but I do sign up a ton of discos as fast as I can. I try to sign up everyone before they get their second bag of Shakeology. Because the long-term plays build a team, and if I can turn some of those discos into actual coaches, I'll take that opportunity over the commission of Shakeology every month, any day of the week.
Cool, thanks. We have a final question.
I would like to know what you're reading for personal development.
Right now, I mostly listen to, because my job, I'm in my car a lot. So I drive probably, 4 to 6 hours a day. So most of my stuff is podcasts, but I probably get in about 3 hours a day of personal development. Because if I'm driving for 6 hours, I'll be on the phone the other 3 talking to coaches. But yeah, I'll podcast. Yeah, I just podcast as much as I can. I just won't, as much as I want to turn on sports radio or turn on something and listen to some tunes, which I'll do every now and then. I just really try to focus on, I'll listen to Brendan Bouchard or Lewis Howes. I love a lot of. I'll do some audiobooks. I do have the 12-week year. I have the book. I've yet to start it, but I'll probably start that in the next week or so. I've heard it's amazing. I don't know if you've heard of that one. It's like a new hot one that all the coaches are starting to read. The 12-week year, I think it's called. The other good one that I'm trying to send to a lot of new coaches is the Miracle Morning for network marketers. So
yeah, I think everyone read it.
Yeah, it's a good one. Is it en français or just English?
Yes, we have it in French. It's called Tout se joue avant 8 heures.
Sure.
Got it.
Oui.
Oh, wait.
Thank you so much, Jamie, for your time. Not only you, but you and your wife as a couple, you're really, really inspiring me. Every morning I'm checking on your life.
I have a question about the live video, actually. Do you have a time frame
Yeah.
you do for the live videos? Because you said you do your training. I mean, you're not doing the full 30-minute live video, right?
No, we'll do like the warm up. We'll do 3 or 4 or 5 minute warm up, and then we'll do a couple exercises, and then we'll kind of pause the video, talk for 5 to 7 minutes, then come back and do a couple more exercises. So I would say they're anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes sometimes 7 minutes. But again, like,
is your topic kind of just whatever how you feel that morning, or do you, yeah, okay.
Hey, Kim, what do you want to talk about this morning? I don't know. What should we talk about? Yeah, that's literally what we do. Or if something's come up in the day, or if we have something to do that weekend, or if we're, we'll just pick a topic and talk about it, and just like
it might become mundane, and people are like, oh, okay, here she goes again, bloody workout and talk to me about trying to be inspiring or eat healthy. But I figured that that's what it is. If people aren't happy about it, they're just not going to watch, and I'm just going to attract the people that want to, right?
Exactly.
Right.
People
In the good way.
Yeah.
people don't, that's the beautiful part of Facebook, is people don't have to follow your stuff. So
Yeah.
do your thing, and that's that.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time. The girls
All
are
right.
Insanity Live with Stephanie Dumont, master trainer. So
Oh, nice. You doing that right now?
Yeah.
yes, we're going to do right now. I'm going to be live on my page. So
Oh, sweet. Okay. I'll come watch.
thank you.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye.
Have fun, you guys.
Yes, for sure. Thank you.